Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, or good afternoon, or good morning. Lovely to see you all. Although I can't exactly see you, this is a pre-recorded shiur, as I am attending a simcha this evening, but I am still very pleased, at least through this medium, for us to be able to continue our weekly commitment to learning the Parsha together on Thursday evenings. I would like to thank L1 Capital for kindly hosting me as I record this shiur, as I sometimes work from this office here in the city on a Thursday before delivering my lunch and learn shiur at a Thursday lunchtime, which is always kindly hosted by L1. In this week's Parsha, Parshat Naso, we have some really beautiful psukim of bracha, blessings of the Birkat Kohanim, which we read in source number 1 as follows. Vaydaber Hashem el Moshe lemor. Hashem said to Moshe as follows: Daber el Aharon ve'el banav lemor. Speak unto Aharon and unto his sons as follows: Ka tavarchu et bnei Yisrael. Thus you shall bless the Israelites. Amar lahem, say unto them. And these two words, Amar lahem, are going to be relevant to us soon. And the blessing to be given is Yivarechecha Hashem v'yishmerecha. May Hashem bless you and guard you. Ya'er Hashem panav elecha v'chuneka. May Hashem shine his countenance upon you and deal graciously towards you. Yisa Hashem panav elecha. May Hashem raise his countenance to you. V'yasem lecha shalom, and grant you peace. And the section concludes, V'samu et shmi al bnei Yisrael, and they shall place my name on the Israelites. Va'ani avarachem, Hashem says, I shall bless them. It is Hashem who's blessing the people, and the Kohanim are the conduits for Hashem's prayer. And this evening I would like to share with you 4 different lessons from this short passage. The first lesson appears in Rashi in source number 2, Amar, and he comments on the fact that the word here, Amar, from source number 1, I'm highlighting it now, when the Kohanim are told, Amar lahem, say to them, is spelled maleh, it is spelled full, meaning it is spelled with the letter Vav in Amar. It could have just been Aleph, Mem, Resh, with a cholam on top, and it would have meant Amar, but it is spelled in the full sense of the word. Why? To let us know. Lo tavarchem b'chipazon vehalot. Kohanim shouldn't bless us in a rush or in an insincere manner. Rather, how should they bless us? Ella, b'chavana, uvelev shalem, with sincerity, with intention, and with a full heart. This is a bracha which must be delivered with a full heart, as is mentioned in the bracha, which the Kohanim say before delivering the bracha, where they are blessed, levarech et amo Yisrael be'ahava. They must bless us with love, which means that love is the vehicle here for the blessing. It must be delivered with love. This must be a full blessing delivered with a full heart. That is why the word Amar is spelt in the full way. And this concept, that the bracha of Birkat Kohanim must be delivered with a full heart, has halachic ramifications. For example, in the laws of mourning. In source number 3, we see in the Shulchan Aruch, Achar Shiva Yemei Avelut, following the 7 days of Shiva, Noseh Kapav, the Shulchan Aruch says, after Shiva, a Kohen can duchen. Uvetoch Shiva Yemei Avelut, however, during the Shiva, Yatzam Beit HaKnesset B'Sha'ah Shekoreh Kohanim, the Kohen should step out of the shul at the time when Kohanim are called. If you are in shul and they say Kohanim, you have to go up. Therefore, you walk out of shul to avoid being summoned when the word Kohanim is declared, to invite the Kohanim to step forward to duchen. So that's the Shulchan Aruch. During Shiva, no duchening. After Shiva, you can duchen. However, for Ashkenazim in the Ramah, we have Hagar. However, v'yesh omrim, some people say, T'chol zman ha'avelut, that throughout the entire period of mourning, Afilu ad yud bet chodesh al aviv v'alimo, even for a full year for a parent, einon oseh et kapav, you don't duchen throughout the year of mourning And the Ramah says, "V'chein nohagin b'medinot elu." That is the custom in our countries. Kohanim in mourning do not duchen. They step outside of shul, not to be there when Kohanim are called to step forwards. What is the reason for this? Why does a Kohen not duchen while they are in a period of mourning? The Mishnah Brura explains in source number 4, Yatzama Beit HaKnesset, you leave shul. The Medina, because on a strict halachic level, Chayav ha'avel levarech, the mourner is obligated to bless others. Sharei chayav b'chol mitzvot hamorot b'Torah, because the mourner is obligated with all the mitzvot in the Torah, and duchening is a mitzvah in the Torah. Hashem tells Kohanim, this is how you are supposed to bless others. It's a Torah mitzvah. Ella, however, the custom is that the Kohen avoids this by stepping outside of shul when Kohanim are called forwards. Because the Kohen must be joyous and he must have a positive full heart at the time of giving the bracha. In order to bless others successfully, that bracha must be delivered from a place of happiness and joy and a full heart. A Kohen in mourning, naturally, due to their state of mourning, is unable to do so. And therefore, our custom, Ashkenazi custom, is that such a Kohen does not duchen. A further example in halacha, in source number 5, the Shulchan Aruch says, Kohen, af al pi shehu panui noseh et kapav. A Kohen, even if he is unmarried, does duchen. Now, if the Shulchan Aruch says, even though he's unmarried, he does duchen, it suggests that there's reason to think, or at least an opinion which claims, that an unmarried Kohen should not duchen. Why would that be the case? The Ramah says in italics, however, some people say that an unmarried Kohen does not duchen. Why? Somebody who doesn't have a wife is somebody who is unhappy. In order to truly have simcha, a person needs that life partner, and therefore there is an opinion that an unmarried Kohen cannot have that state of shleimut, peace of mind and joy in their heart to bless others if they are unmarried. Because a person blessing others has to be joyous. However, practically speaking, from a halachic perspective, our custom is that you do duchen even if you are unmarried. Nevertheless, if you want to avoid it, that's okay. As we've already seen, that you shouldn't be in shul at the time the Kohanim are invited forwards, or it's announced that the Kohen should now go and wash their hands, because then you're there, you're a Kohen, you have to take part. And so we see another example. It's not just a mourner, but at least on a theoretical level, an unmarried person perhaps should not duchen, although they do, but it's the same message coming across. In order to bless others, you have to be in a place of internal simcha first. And one final example here at the bottom of page 1. Outside Israel, there's a custom only to duchen on Yom Tov. Now, this is a hugely controversial custom. I know it's what we're used to, but the Torah says that you should duchen. And the Torah doesn't say only duchen in the land of Israel. And the Gemara speaks at length about the great value of duchening. And the Kohen who blesses others is blessed. And the Kohen who does not bless others is not blessed. And perhaps transgresses 3 mitzvot of the Torah if they don't duchen. Duchening is a mitzvah in the Torah. However, those of us who are in the diaspora don't duchen every day. We only duchen at Yom Tov time. Why is that the case? Mishum she'az shruyim b'simchat Yom Tov, because in the diaspora, it is only on Yom Tov that we have that extra sense of simcha. V'tov leiv hu yivarech, the one who blesses others, have to be in a place of simcha. Ma she'ein ken b'shar yamim, at least in the diaspora, it doesn't apply on other days. Afilu b'Shabbatot hashana, even on Shabbat. Shetrudim b'hirhurim ha'michyatam v'bitul melachtam. Our thoughts are not where they're supposed to be, even on Shabbat. We're worried about our sustenance and our livelihood and our professions and our work and our jobs. Afilu b'Yom Tov, even on Yom Tov itself. Ein nosin kapayim ela b'tfilat musaf. We only duchen at musaf. We don't duchen at shachrit. Why is that? Shiyotzim az mebeit hakneset, because you've already got 1 foot out of shul. You've already got 1 foot at lunch. Or 1 foot in the kiddush. V'yismechu b'simchat Yom Tov, and you're really about to enjoy your Yom Tov. So outside Israel, in the diaspora, we only duchen at the end of our Yom Tov services, and only at the end of musaf, and we've got 1 foot out of shul. Only then do we have that true sense of simcha. So there are numerous halachic expressions of the fact that this bracha of Birkat Kohanim must be delivered in simcha. A mourner doesn't do Birkat Kohanim. There is an opinion that an unmarried Kohen would not do Birkat Kohanim, although that's not the halacha at the end of the day. In the diaspora, we hardly ever do Birkat Kohanim because we don't feel that same sense of simcha which we could feel when we are fully aligned as a Jewish nation in the homeland in Israel. We just have glimpses of it on Yom Tov from time to time. But what we see here is not just about Birkat Kohanim, but it is a message about successfully blessing others in general, to truly bless other people, to truly bring joy and benefit to other people. We ourselves need to feel that simcha. It has to come from a place of a full heart, not a begrudging wish or something which is rushed or just ticking the box. It has to come from a lev shalem. At the top of page 2, the second lesson I would like to share with you. The Gemara tells us in Sota, Daf Lamed Chet Amud Aleph. Amar Abaye. Abaye says, Naktinan, we learn, we teach, L'shnayim kore kohanim, u'le'echad eino kore kohen. If there are 2 or more kohanim in shul, then somebody says, Kohanim, and the Kohanim then respond. Who says it? That's a machloket, that's not for that. But you declare Kohanim prior to Birkat Kohanim. It's announced, they're invited. But that is only if there are 2 or more Kohanim in shul. If there's only 1 Kohen in shul, you don't call out Kohen or even Kohanim. The Kohen just starts by himself. There is no prior announcement or declaration or invitation. Shnei Amar, why is that the case? The Gemara gives a textual reason, because it says, Amar lahem, say unto them. Say to them, plural. You should say to the Kohanim, plural. These are the words of the bracha, l'shnayim, to 2 or more Kohanim. So this is a technical, textual-based reason that because it says lahem in the plural, only if there are 2 or more Kohanim do we say Kohanim. And this is codified in Halacha in the Shulchan Aruch in source 7. Omdim b'duchan v'pneihem klapei ha'heichal. The Kohanim stand on the duchan, on the platform. That's where the name duchening comes from. A duchan is a platform. So duchening is when they go up to the duchan, to the platform. Pneihem klapei ha'heichal, with their faces towards the Aron. V'achoreihem klapei ha'am, and their backs to the people. Ve'etzba'otehem kufin etoch kfeihem kapeihem, and their fingers are bent into their palms. It doesn't have to be that way. It just means that they don't have to raise their fingers, their hands quite yet. Ad sheshaliach tzibur mesayem modim, until the end of modim. Va'az, and then im heim shnayim, if there are 2 or more kohanim present, koreh lahem hashaliach tzibur, the shaliach tzibur calls out kohanim. Why is this the case? Why is the single or individual kohen not called up? Rav Shimshon Raphael Hirsch explains in source 8. Kriat kohanim einena mufnet el hayachid. The call of kohanim is not directed at the individual. As we have seen, L'shnayim koreh kohanim v'le'echad eno koreh kohen. If there are two or more kohanim, they are called up, but for one you don't. Why? B'shem hazeh ta'amo shel davar. Perhaps this is the reason. Bracha hayotzet mipi ish echad. If you have a bracha which is coming out of the mouth of just one person, there is just one kohen up there, alula lahavlit et ishiyuto shel hayachid, has a risk involved, because what you're going to be doing is bringing to the fore and highlighting the personality of that individual person. V'latet lo hila shel chashibut yetera, and you're giving that individual an air of extra importance. There's a concern that if one kohen goes up by themselves, this is no longer birkat kohanim, the blessing of the tribes of Kohen, of the tribe of Kohen or their descendants. This is the bracha of Mr. Cohen himself, with his own personality and his own sense of importance. And that's what we don't want. V'ulai mishum kach, because of that, ein ponim elav b'kriyat kohen. You don't call up Kohen because you don't want the individual Kohen who's delivering the blessing to think that they are so special, that they are the ones who are delivering the blessing from their own selves. A Kohen must understand that he is only a vehicle for the blessing of Hashem. He is only a conduit for the blessing of Hashem. And this bracha, to be a successful bracha, must come from a place of humility. If a Kohen is filled with their own self-importance, and there's no space left for Hashem, and there's no space for the blessing of Hashem to come through them. And so we see from the laws of Birkat Kohanim that blessings to be given to others, number one, should ideally be given with a full heart, with that real sense of inner joy and happiness and sharing of that blessing with others. And secondly, blessings to others should come from a place of humility, which is why we don't call up the individual Kohen, so as not to build up the individual Kohen. The Kohen should know that they are just there as representatives of a tribe who have been chosen to deliver the brachot which come from Hashem. The third lesson I'd like to share with you is based on the Midrash in source number 9. Amor lahem, say unto them, Melamed, this comes to teach us. She'ein hakohanim nisha'in lisa kapeihen ulevarech at she'omar lehem shaliach tzibur kohanim. This teaches us the protocol for how Birkat Kohanim takes place. When the Torah says, Amor lahem, you should say unto them, it's letting us know that a Kohen is not allowed to start blessing us until he's been invited to do so. Well, as we've seen, that's if there's two or more Kohanim. An individual doesn't need that invitation. But it's saying, Amor lahem, call out to the Kohanim, and once they've been called, then they can give their bracha. Davar acher, another technical thing we can learn from here, Amor lahem, say unto them, Hashaliach tzibur amor lahem, the Chazan should say to them, Yevarechecha tchila. First he should say, Yevarechecha. V'achar kach hakohen omer acharav, and then the Kohen repeats, Yevarechecha. V'chein kol teva v'teva. And so with every single word. What the Midrash is telling us is that the format which we use for Birkat Kohanim is learned from the Torah. If we jump back to source number 1, Vaydaber Hashem el Moshe lemor, Hashem said to Moshe as follows, Daber el Aaron ve'el banav lemor, speak to Aaron and his sons as follows, Kol tevarchu et bnei Yisrael. This is how the bracha should take place. Amor lahem, first of all, call out to them, say Kohanim, and then they'll start. But also, Amor lahem, announce to them the following words. You have to say the words to them. Yevarechecha, you say Yevarechecha, and let them repeat Yevarechecha. And so it is for every single word. The word has to be announced to the Kohen, and then he repeats that word when he delivers his bracha. Why is this important? To the extent that the Torah is telling us that it has to be this way. The Kli Yakar tells us in source number 10, Amar lahem, say unto them, Mikan lamdu chazal, this is where our sages learned, Shachazan makri lakohanim milah b'milah nusach brachot, that the Chazan calls out to the Kohanim word by word the wording of the brachot. Why is this the case? If a Kohen has been duchening for many years, surely they know it off by heart by now, they don't need to be prompted. But ta'amah shel davar, the reason is as follows. She'achazan wastar sur, hamoshech shefa tzinor, nimkar habrachot tchila, umorikotam al rosh hakohanim yachulu. A little bit Kabbalistic, but not too complicated. The Chazan, who says these words to the Kohanim, before the Kohanim use them to bless the people, the Chazan himself is an intermediary, drawing on the emanation of divine blessing, becoming a conduit for that blessing to go through the Chazan onto the Kohanim prior to the Kohanim blessing the people. And we'll explain this now. Kihu omer tchila el hakohen yivarechecha Hashem. First the Chazan says to the Kohen, may Hashem bless you. K'dei lasot et hakohen tchila kli gadush umaleh b'berkat Hashem. So that the Kohen themselves becomes a vessel which is filled with the blessing of Hashem. V'achar kach k'shakohen omer Yisrael yivarech Hashem hu morik min kli maleh al kli rakan. And then when the Kohen blesses the people, he is pouring from a full vessel into empty vessels. In other words, the Kohen is blessing the people. Who blesses the Kohen? The Kohen is giving divine emanation onto the people. Where does the Kohen derive that divine blessing from? What happens is, in the first stage, Hashem blesses the Kohanim through the Shaliach Tzibur. And when the Chazan says, Yivarechecha, he's not just prompting the Kohen, he's blessing the Kohen. And once the Kohen has been blessed, he's then able to bless others. Avalim lo haya Kohen mitbarech tchila. If the Kohen themselves has not been blessed first, humorik mikli rekan el kli rekan, then the Kohen is pouring from an empty vessel into an empty vessel. First, the Kohanim are blessed, and then they pass that blessing on to others. But a Kohen cannot run on empty. A Kohen has to be blessed first in order to be a blessing to others. And the Kli Yakar explains, Uvazeh miyushav ma shene'emar. Now we can understand the pasuk at the beginning of Parshat Lech Lecha. And indeed, in the Kli Yakar's commentary on Lech Lecha, he explains this pasuk, and then he talks about Birkat Kohanim. Here he's doing it the other way around. We can now explain the pasuk in Lech Lecha, because there Avram is told, V'avarcha mevarechecha, u'mekalelcha aor. I will bless those who bless you, and those who curse you shall be cursed. Now note the colors we have here. V'avarcha, Hashem says, I will bless in yellow, mevarechecha, those who bless you in green. But then the order is reversed, and then we're told, u'makalelcha, and those who curse you, aor, I shall curse. So it's gone from what Hashem does first, prior to what the other person does, the third party, followed by the third party, followed by Hashem. And the Kli Yakar asks, V'hava leilo mar, it should have said, in order to be consistent, just as in the first phrase it's yellow followed by green, the second phrase as well should have been yellow followed by green. Ve'aor mekalelcha. I'll bless those who bless you and I'll curse those who curse you. That's more consistent. K'derech shama, like in the first phrase, it was yellow followed by green. I will bless those who bless you. Why is the language reversed between these two phrases? Ele sharatza lomar, it wants to teach us. Shah Kohen hamavarech et Yisrael, when the Kohen blesses the rest of Am Yisrael, Ani mevarchot chila, first I will bless him. Kedei lasot et hakohen kli maleh v'gadush, in order to make the kohen a vessel who is just absolutely filled and stuffed with blessing. V'yorik min kli maleh birkat Hashem al Yisrael, and with a full blessing, with a full vessel, he's able to bless others. And therefore, Hashem says in yellow, Va'avarcha, first I will bless mevarechecha, those who are going to bless you. Because in order to successfully bless others, you have to first be blessed yourself. Aval beklala. When it comes to the phrase of the curses, Ein shayach lomar ken, that's just not relevant. Ela achar sheyikalem, once somebody has cursed you, or oto, I will then curse such an individual, below kodem, and not prior to that. And so the Kli Yakar concludes, that's why it says, V'samwet shmi al bnei Yisrael v'ani avarchem. Place my name on the Israelites and I will bless them, which means techila, first I will bless the Kohanim. V'samwet shmi al bnei Yisrael, the Kohanim should bless the Israelites and I will bless them, the Kohanim. Al yedei shiomar chazan lekohen techila yivarechecha Hashem. By the prompting, those words which come first from the Chazan, it is the Chazan blessing the Kohanim. And so we see that when the Kohanim are given those words, it's not just letting them know what to say. The Kohanim themselves are being blessed. And here the Midrash and the Kli Yakar and the Torah are teaching us a very important lesson, which is that a person cannot always just be a blessing for others if they don't allow themselves to be the recipients of blessings themselves. A person can't always teach others without also investing in their own learning and their own knowledge. Givers can't always give, they also have to receive. You can't always care for others, you have to care for yourself first. And when we care for ourselves and we give time to ourselves and we invest in ourselves and we learn things for ourselves and we do things even to be a little bit selfish and to bless ourselves, it not only helps us, but it empowers us to be better givers and better carers and better educators and better blessers for other people. Because even the most selfless person in the world needs to receive and needs to be loved and needs to be cared for. And therefore, it's an important lesson for the many wonderful, selfless, and kind and generous people among us, in order to really be able to give to others in a powerful and sustainable manner. We have to allow others to bless us first. We have to invest in ourselves. We have to be selfish. And by being selfish, we'll be even better selfless individuals in order to give to others. The final thing I'd like to focus on this evening is the order of the brachot. So far, we have seen that the person who delivers a bracha to somebody else, not just in the context of Birkat Kohanim, but when you give greetings or blessings to others, they should be done with a full heart. We have also seen that greetings to others should be done from a place of humility. We've seen that to be blessings unto others, we have to first be blessed ourselves. We can't pour from empty vessels. We have to fill our own vessels first. And finally, I'd like to look at the content, the wording of the blessings themselves. And let's pay attention to the development in the blessings, the stages in the blessings. For example, at the bottom of page 2, we have the Sforno, who says as follows: Yevarechecha, may Hashem bless you. What's that? Be'osher v'nechasim. That is a blessing of wealth and property. She'im ein kemach ein Torah. If there's no flour, there's no Torah. Yevarechecha, start off with saying, may you be blessed with parnasa, with wealth. That is the very first stage. V'yishmerecha, and may Hashem protect you, min hagazlanim, from thieves. Certainly, the more wealth one amasses, the more security one needs in order to protect that wealth. So may Hashem bless you, and then may Hashem protect that wealth. Ya'er, in the next line, top of page 3. May Hashem shine his face unto you. What does that mean? Yigale einecha ba'or panav. May he reveal your eyes in the light of his face. Lahabit niflaot mitarato umima'asav. That you will be able to see wondrous things of his Torah and his actions. This is once you have already achieved your needs through Hashem's bracha. So the Sforno is saying that this isn't just a series of brachot, this is a process of brachot. We develop from one stage to the next. First of all, you need physical blessings from Hashem, and those have to be secured. Once those physical blessings have been secured, then you can open up your eyes to Hashem's Torah and his great deeds. Yisa Hashem panav elecha, may Hashem raise his face unto you. That is talking about l'chayei ha'olam, now already talking about the world to come. Omram, like it's written, tzadikim yoshvim va'atrotehem barashehem umitangim miziv shchina, a description in the Gemara of brachot of the world to come when the righteous will sit with their crowns on their heads, just having such pleasure, beaming, basking in the rays of the divine presence. And finally, V'yasem lecha shalom, may Hashem give you peace. Menuchat shalom, shehu hanitzchiyut, bli ta'arovet onesh. We're talking about eternal peace, resting in eternal peace without any element of punishment at all. Hara'oi lekol shalem l'chayei olam, which is befitting for all, complete, pure individual for eternity. So according to Sforno, Birkat Kohanim is a story. It's a process. Physical blessing, security, spiritual achievement, the world to come, and eternal rest. That is the story of Birkat Kohanim. Similarly, in source number 12 in the Abar Banel, V'amar, and it says, first of all, Yivarechecha Hashem v'yishmerecha, may Hashem bless you and may he keep you. Shehi bracha binyanei haguf, says the Abar Banel, the first of the brachot here. The first line is about physical needs. Shivarech v'yashpia alehem tovot harbe beni chayi u'mazayni, that Hashem should bless and emanate upon us all these good things, all the physical things that a person needs in this world. And they should be protected and guarded, so they should never be lacking. The more you need to protect. So that whole first line is Inyanei Haguf, physical matters. In the second line, Be'erachotam b'tovot hanafshiyot. We're then told about spiritual, intellectual achievements. Mehade'ah v'chochma, wisdom, knowledge. That is the next stage. Pasuk hashlishi, and then in the third pasuk, kol shnei ha-shleimuyot yachad, is a combination of both these types of perfection. Hagufani v'hanafshi, it is the physical and spiritual coming together. Ki ha-pasuk hazeh romez el hashgacha elokit al haguf al hanefesh yachad. This final pasuk alludes towards divine achievement both on the body and the soul. Until we reach the ultimate success, the pinnacle of success, which is shalom. Hinei, behold, these few words of bracha, altogether just 15 words, include within them all types of goodness and blessing. Ish lo ne'edar, there's nothing missing here. It's all inclusive. And so, like the Sforno, the Abar Banel here talks about a series of brachot, from physical to spiritual, to combining the physical and the spiritual to reach our ultimate achievement, our ultimate goal. And as Rambam points out in source number 13, it is necessary for us to receive our physical blessings before we receive our spiritual blessings. If some of you are thinking that we've spoken about this before, shkoyach, you're right. We spoke about this last year for Parshat Bechukotai, where in the context of Parshat Bechukotai and the blessings there, I showed how the blessings there have a physical focus, prior to talking about higher spiritual needs. And in that context, we saw the following words of the Rambam in source number 13. Hayudim hatovim hanekamot haraot haktuvot b'Torah inyanam hu. All the different rewards and punishments which are written in the Torah, which have such a physical focus on them. You may have thought that the Torah would tell us that for living a life of great spiritual ideals, there be spiritual rewards. But the Torah tells us about food and water and wealth and military success and rain. All these physical things. Why? Rambam says, Lefi she'ha'adam i efshar la'asot lo mitzvot, because it's impossible for a person to perform mitzvot. Lo kashehu choleh, not if you're sick, v'ra'ev, or you're starving, or tzameh, or thirsty, v'lo b'shar milchama u'matzor, if you're at a time of war and siege. It's impossible to live a life of spiritual achievement if you're constantly worried about your health, or where your next meal is going to come from, or you don't have that basic sense of security. And therefore, we are told that if we keep Torah and mitzvot, all these obstacles are going to be removed. V'shiyu bri'im, and that will be healthy. V'shkeitim, and we'll have peace and silence. Asher tishalem yehem ha'yediyah, until we're able to reach this great perfect knowledge of Hashem, v'yizku l'chayei olam haba, and we will merit life in the world to come. All these physical rewards are not the reward itself. They are there to enable us to achieve spiritual reward. Hashem blesses us with wealth, so we will have financial security to be able to study Torah and to do mitzvot. Hashem blesses us with physical security, so we'll have the peace of mind to focus on greater spiritual matters. Hashem first blesses us physically to pave the way for those higher spiritual goals. And this, as you may recall, is the model presented by Abraham Maslow in his hierarchy of needs in source number 14. Maslow claimed that a person, in order to self-actualize, in order to reach their greatest goals in this world, their full potential, a person has to go through a series of stages in order to get there, starting at the very bottom with one's physiological needs: breathing, food, water, sex, sleep, homeostasis, excretion, all the basic bodily needs. If a person doesn't have basic bodily needs, then you can't really inspire that person or take them on a spiritual journey or to help them reach their individual potential when they're worried about the most basic level of survival. So first of all, a person needs physiological needs. The stage after that, moving upwards, is that a person needs safety, security of body, of employment, of resources, of morality, of the family, of health, of property. A person needs to know they have a roof over their heads. They have to feel secure where they are. They have to feel secure in their setting. If a person feels any level of insecurity for any reason, such a person won't be able to reach those higher levels. The next level up is love and belonging, friendship, family, and sexual intimacy. And Maslow claims that you have to go up these stages, at least in 1954 he did, prior to changing things later on. You have to go up these stages in the correct order in order to reach your self-actualization. Then one is able to reach the green level: esteem, self-esteem, confidence, achievement, respect of others, respect by others. And there are two levels of esteem in Maslow. The esteem which you receive when other people respect you, it's an external source of esteem, and then a higher esteem when you yourself feel your own value and worth, not because of what other people tell you. And having been through all these stages in the right way, then you can reach the top of the pyramid. Self-actualization, morality, creativity, spontaneity, problem solving, lack of prejudice, acceptance of facts. You're able to reach the pinnacle of your human potential. Now, you might recall that when we studied Parshat Bechukotai together last year, I showed you how the brachot of Parshat Bechukotai follow this exact order, more or less. They follow this order, they follow Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And as Aryeh Eldad points out in source number 15, Birkat Kohanim also follow this order. Aryeh Arazi, sorry, I called him Aryeh Eldad. Aryeh Arazi is a lecturer in Bar Ilan University. When somebody in yeshiva saw me write an article about the connection between Parshat Bechukotai and Maslow's hierarchy of needs, they said, you should know there's someone called Aryeh Arazi who wrote an article doing the same thing in Parshat Naso. And here's what he writes in source number 15. Habracha Rishona beBirkat Kohanim, the first blessing of Birkat Kohanim, Kol Inyana Begashmiut, is entirely focused on physicality. V'hi makbila letzrachim haphysiologiyim uletzorchei bitachon b'model shel Maslow, and that first line of Birkat Kohanim is parallel to the physiological needs and the security needs in Maslow's model. Yivarechecha Hashem, may Hashem give you your physiological needs, v'yishmerecha, and your security needs. Let's move on to the next line. Habracha ha'emtza'it, the middle line of Birkat Kohanim, oseket kula b'inyanim ruchaniyim, deals with all our spiritual needs. Shehem shayachut, belonging, ahava, love, varacha chevratit, and social acknowledgement. V'hi makbila l'shlavim emtzayim b'model shel Maslow. And that line is parallel to the middle stages in Maslow's pyramid. B'chelek harishon shel habracha shlishit, in the first section of the third bracha, muvat kirvat elokim intimit, we have the intimate relationship with Hashem. V'chelek zeh makbil lekvod v'aracha b'model shel Maslow, which is parallel to the esteem in Maslow's pyramid. And then ultimately, b'siyum birkat haKohanim, at the end of Birkat Kohanim, omed hashalom ke'erech hana'ala biyoter. We have our most super value, our ultimate value, our greatest aspiration and value. For us, it is shalom. Hamakbil letzorech b'mimush atzmi, hanimtza b'rosh piramidot hatzrachim shel Maslow, which is parallel to self-actualization at the top of Maslow's pyramid. So if we look back at the pyramid over here, the bottom of page 3, the order of the brachot is in red, Yivarechecha Hashem, moving up to orange, V'yishmerecha. Yellow, Ya'er Hashem panav elecha v'chuneka, may Hashem turn his face unto you, deal graciously unto you. We should have that sense of love and belonging, that connection with Hashem. We have our esteem. Ya'isa Hashem panav elecha, may Hashem lift his face up to you, look up to you. We have that own sense of esteem and confidence which comes from that relationship with Hashem. And then ultimately in blue, we reach our self-actualization. V'yasem lecha shalom, that Hashem should give us shalom. Shalom is our greatest aspiration. It is our ultimate goal. It is everything that we want. We are a people that is entirely focused on achieving shalom. And though from time to time we have to behave in ways which may not appear to be so peaceful, for the sake of shalom, it is all part of reaching that ultimate shalom. And so Birkat Kohanim, 15 short words, have within them so much and such great blessings for us. And we can learn so much from these blessings. We learn that in order to bless others, we have to first be blessed ourselves. We have to look after ourselves. We have to care for the carers and give to the givers and give love to the greatest lovers. We learn that in order to be a blessing unto others, we have to do so, belev shalem, in a complete, generous, full heart. We learn that to create space for Hashem's blessing to come through us, we have to do so from a place of humility. And we learn that in order to look after others, we have to look after their basic needs first. You can't just come up to somebody and say, every cloud has a silver lining. Let me inspire you. Let me tell you about the great upper levels of the pyramid. Let's look after people day by day, step by step, their basic needs first. Do they have something to eat? Do they have somewhere to live? Help them with their daily tasks to slowly remove the cloud and the burden from their shoulders, and then to then be able together with them to embark on a journey, hopefully, that they as individuals and all of us as a nation should reach our ultimate goal. We should all reach shalom. We should all reach that place of peace. With that, I wish you all a Shabbat Shalom, and all going to plan. I now pass over to our Rosh Kollel, Rav Yoshua Asolin, who will now deliver live our weekly Parshat HaShavua Shiur in Ivrit. Shabbat Shalom.